Hey folks, how's it going? This is Dominic here from Everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Fish of the Week. This week we're going to take a quick look at a fish that we caught, and this week we're going to explore the Netflix fish. So this is a fish that we've seen this week hit a fair amount of our customers. A lot of us are members of Netflix. We enjoy our shows, and here, if you get this email, seems a little distressing that somehow I've unsubscribed to the service, and would like to make sure that I restart my membership here. So, and that's what the attackers are trying to achieve here, to create that emotional reaction from you, and to make sure that you go and re-enable your services. So what we're going to do this week is we're going to walk through this fish, look actually at the credential harvester that's sitting behind it, and then talk about how this fish works itself. So let's take a look at this. So I get this email, right, saying that my account got deactivated, so I need to get it started again. So very distressed here. I don't want to miss my favorite episodes. So what I'll do is I tap restart my membership, and that actually takes me to a login page, right? So I'll go ahead and log in. And then as I walk, and we'll walk through this, the information that this credential harvester is picking up from you here. But as you kind of look at the forms that you need to fill out, you should become more and more suspicious if you've passed the point where you've already given your email and password. But as we kind of look at these screens, you'll see, like I said, this is very, very questionable. So the first screen that comes up, after the login is, collecting your billing information. So, you expect the standard stuff here, it looks somewhat legitimate, everything looks pretty good here. But then you get to the second to the last field where it's asking you for your social security number. Not usually necessary for any type of billing information, but here, the attackers are trying to collect as much data as they can from you. So they're asking for your social. So you plug all that stuff in, you move to the next dialog here, and it's asking you for credit card information. And again, here you put that information. But interestingly enough as well, they're asking you for an extra security question. What's your mother's maiden name, right? So again, if that's information that is actually really useful for these attackers as they try to do identity theft or call into the different services, either your cell phone or your credit cards, to try to make fake transactions with these companies. So all these security questions, they're trying to obtain that information. And finally, once you provide all your payment information here, it'll take you to this final page that says, hey, your account has been updated. And then if you click this continue to login button, actually brings you to the actual Netflix website. So, as a user, you feel that, hey, I've done everything correctly. I've validated my information. I log into my Netflix account. Everything looks good. I'm good to go. I go about my day and don't think much about it. But unfortunately here, you've given all your information to the bad guys. Good chances that you'll start seeing some bogus transaction in your credit cards. I'd just be very careful about that. If you do get caught by that, make sure that, you contact your credit companies and you change all your passwords. So this Netflix attack is, happens all the time. We see it happen, across the board with our customers. We actually see it in different languages as well. I've seen a fair amount of them in Spanish, on top of the one that are in English. But this one's actually pretty interesting because if we look at how this comes up on your phone, the attackers have done a good job at optimizing this for your phone. So the email renders on your iPhone, for example, here. And then if I click on the link, when the link renders, they're taking advantage of something that the iPhone or the mobile platforms kind of do in terms of kind of optimizing that display here is that, they are where the browser prioritizes the most left part of the URL. So if I look at the screen on that second screenshot here, I can see streaming.netflix-ssl-billing.com. Right, it looks legitimate, right? I see that little lock in the corner, right? So the transaction must be correct. And again, if I go through the dialogues here, I'll be giving away all my information. So, those attackers are getting smarter and smarter, right? Knowing that on the mobile platforms, you don't have the same safeguards that you do on your regular email client or your browser. So definitely trying to, again, fool you to make sure that they can provide you that information. So let's take a look at the stack infrastructure, right? So if we look at the fish itself, right, the email is very convincing. When we tap on the link that's included in the email, right, if we just hover on top of it, it just says, the streaming.account.netflix SSL billing /to go. And then once you click on it through a bunch of HTTP redirection and HTML meta tags, finally lands you on this login.php file, right? So you wouldn't necessarily see that. Things are going very fast, and if you're doing it on your mobile phone, right, you'll just see the page render normally, and just like we saw earlier in the previous screen, everything looks good and allows you to log in. So the credential harvester itself, again, very convincing. They've taken great effort to make sure that it looks like a Netflix page with all the colors and all the look and feel. But the domain itself, does not belong to Netflix, right? So if we do a who is on that, we can see the data being obfuscated by GDPR. The host resolves to an IP somewhere in Russia. So again, don't think Netflix accounting department sits in Russia here, but these guys are trying to collect that information from you. And finally, the SSL certificate comes from Let's Encrypt, right? So again, all this to make the whole experience as legitimate as possible. And and from the phishing email to the credential harvester itself, looks very credible. If we look at the email infrastructure where that email came from, so it was sent from a domain that is hosted on O365. So everything in regards to email authentication here looks good as well. So again, taking extra steps to ensure that the email passes all the way through down to the user and looks as authentic as possible. And finally, when we look at the mobile version of the attack, like I said, it's optimized for mobile, right? So again, taking away all the safeguards that you normally expect on your mobile platform versus what you would do on your computer. So again, we'd have caution folks to if your solution today did not catch that, to caution you to make sure that you are going to the real Netflix account. If it's always in doubt, make sure you log in directly to netflix.com. Don't go through any of these emails. Don't tap on anything that looks suspicious or even sometimes looks too good. So let's take a look how we can stop these phishing attacks. So at Area 1 here, we spend a lot of our time understanding attackers, crawling the internet, using our active sensor network to find attacks, find campaigns, find the toolkits that the attackers are using. We take all this data, all this technology, and we turn that into very advanced detection technologies, right? So it allows us to crawl these URLs in real time in email. We can do detection of logos through computer vision. We build these extensive algorithms and machine learning models to be able to analyze all this data that our sensors are bringing back to figure out where these attacks are set up, how they're set up, what is interesting about these attacks, such that now when you do consume our services, you get a fully comprehensive protection across your email, firewall, and proxy, and other security components of your architecture. So if you have any questions here, please feel free to contact us. You can reach us through our website at area1security.com, or you can send us an email at demo@area1security.com. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to leave a comment on the bottom. And thank you very much this week, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you.